Did you know that males are generally more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD than females? So much so that the male to female ratio of diagnosed ADHD is about 4 to 1. But did you know that that doesn't necessarily mean males are more susceptible to ADHD than females? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome to Smart Course, the go-to place for authoritative information and strategies for special needs and learning disorders, especially ADHD. Today we're going to talk about ADHD in girls and women. We will discuss the information we've collected across multiple blogs, websites, and media focused on ADHD. In particular, we'll cover ADHD in girls and women, as well as the symptoms, misconceptions related to gender bias, what you can do when living with ADHD, or how you can better support a woman you know who may have ADHD. As a quick disclaimer, Smart Course does not provide medical or health advice. This is intended for informational purposes only. Please read our full disclaimer at smartcourse.io/disclaimer. Always consult a medical professional when dealing with any condition. These conditions do not look the same for every person. You know your child best, so if anything is abnormal, make sure you consult a professional for proper assessment, diagnosis, and treatment. The information in this video is curated from esteemed and authoritative resources, like masterclasses led by world-leading ADHD professionals such as Dr. Ellen Littman, that you can find by signing up for our ADHD Membership Plus plan at smartcourse.io/products, as well as Attitude Magazine, the American Psychological Association, and research conducted by various psychologists like Kathleen Nadeau, Stephanie Starkis, and many more. As always, be sure to hit the subscribe button to see more videos like these, and drop a like and a comment if you learned something new today. We wouldn't be able to make these free, informative videos without the support of our patrons, so we'd appreciate it if you hit the link in our description below and join our Patreon to see more of these free videos just for you. Alright, let's dive right in. First, it's important to know that there is no male ADHD and female ADHD, but there are some differences that are crucial to note as to not overgeneralize ADHD. ADHD is commonly illustrated as loud, hyperactive boys in their elementary or middle school years. So why is ADHD in girls so often overlooked and misunderstood? Just like many other physical, mental, and emotional attributes, boys and girls show a difference in their ADHD symptoms, especially hyperactivity. Women and girls who are living with ADHD may not show the same symptoms of hyperactivity and impulsivity that people often understand ADHD to be. In fact, ADHD in women often does not align with common ADHD stereotypes. This is usually because ADHD in women is more heavily characterized by inattentiveness, such as being distracted by thoughts, difficulty with planning and organization, recalling details, paying attention, and more. Attitude Magazine does a great job at detailing the different symptoms of ADHD in women in their article, ADHD in Women Symptom Checklist. To know more about the symptoms of ADHD in women, click the annotation on the top right corner of your screen and sign up for our newsletter so we can send you our expert-curated list of ADHD resources, including the ADHD in Women Symptom Checklist. By no means is this checklist intended to diagnose ADHD in adult women. If you suspect that you or your daughter may have ADHD, refer your results from this checklist to your trusted mental health professional. In a study done by Dr. Quinn and Sharon Wigal, professors at the University of California at Irvine, research showed that 85% of the teachers and more than half of the parents and general public believe that ADHD in girls is more likely to go unnoticed. Additionally, 4 out of 10 teachers reported that they experience more difficulty when noticing symptoms of ADHD in girls than in boys. ADHD can be characterized as having different shades. The most common shade of ADHD is a hyperactive impulsive form, which is characterized in school by children struggling to sit still or complete tasks like school and homework. Another shade of ADHD is the inattentive form that is characterized by lack of focus, forgetfulness, boredom, daydreaming, and difficulty with organization. Many experts will say that boys tend to show symptoms of hyperactive impulsive ADHD, whereas girls will show symptoms of inattentive ADHD. However, there is no black and white form of ADHD, and symptoms of ADHD vary from child to child. To learn more about noticing symptoms of ADHD in your child, be sure to watch our video covering ADHD symptoms in teens by clicking on the annotation on the top right corner of your screen. In this video, we go more in depth on the various symptoms of ADHD and how you, as a parent, can begin to recognize these symptoms and ensure that they do not go unnoticed. When left untreated, ADHD can pose a risk to a woman's productivity, education, and mental well-being. Research has shown that girls and women with ADHD are more prone to eating disorders, obesity, low self-esteem, emotional withdrawal, depression, and anxiety. Because girls' symptoms of ADHD tend to lean towards inattentiveness rather than hyperactivity, a diagnosis of ADHD can be overlooked throughout their entire young education years. Because of this, girls living with ADHD may experience more negative effects of ADHD than their male classmates. Surveys showed that if a female student is showing signs of poor school performance, the girls are more likely to be held back and repeat a grade. On the other hand, if a boy is showing poor school performance, it is more likely that they will be evaluated and possibly diagnosed with ADHD or a learning disability, and then asked to repeat a grade. In many cases, ADHD in women and girls is left untreated until they reach college, when young women will begin to show a lack of self-regulation and self-management. Compared to other girls of their age, college females living with ADHD show to be more risk-taking and are more prone to being influenced into sororities or recreational drug use. As females continue to grow older and begin to fill the role of being a wife or a mother, living with ADHD can pose even more stress and emotional imbalance. Clinical psychologist Kathleen Nadeau reports that her female clients living with ADHD often visit her with a constant state of overwhelm. With the added responsibilities of family and work, it becomes increasingly difficult for women to cope with ADHD on top of their daily demands. If you're interested in learning more about ADHD and speaking to a healthcare professional who specializes in ADHD, be sure to sign up for Smart Courses matching service at smartcourse.io/products, where we can find and connect you with vetted ADHD professionals in your area or online. ADHD is still presumed to be a male disorder. When girls and women visit their psychiatrists, there is an ongoing history of the females being diagnosed with emotion-based psychiatric illnesses such as mood disorder or anxiety. Because women are understood to be more emotional beings, the emphasis on treating those emotion-driven illnesses overtakes any possible symptoms of ADHD that may also be present. Because of this, women with ADHD are more likely to go undiagnosed or misdiagnosed for ADHD, and in turn are less likely to receive the treatment they need. Before we go on, if you're interested in learning more about important social and emotional skills for children with ADHD, be sure to check out our video by clicking on this annotation on the top right corner of your screen. In this video, our team and a member of Strut Learning talk about the importance of developing your child's social and emotional skills from an early age, especially if your child is living with ADHD. And if you haven't already, please hit the notification bell below and join our newsletter by using the links in the description, because we'll be sharing much more resources on how to help caregivers, parents, educators, and health professionals, and the kids they care for, cope better with ADHD, both at school and at home. One of the most common misconceptions regarding ADHD is that males are more susceptible to ADHD than females. This misconception stems from the ratio that the male to female ADHD diagnosis is about 4-1. However, experts argue that the claim, males are more susceptible to ADHD, is not true, and the diagnosis ratio says nothing about the susceptibility of each gender to ADHD. More often than not, ADHD in women and girls is more commonly undiagnosed, simply because their symptoms can be harder to spot. As mentioned before, female ADHD often shows signs of inattentiveness, whereas male ADHD shows signs of hyperactive impulsivity. Because inattention is far more subtle in comparison to hyperactivity, boys are about 3 to 4 times more likely than girls to be diagnosed with ADHD. However, by the time they reach adulthood, that diagnosis gap shrinks 2-1. This is most likely due to the commonality of women being diagnosed later in life in comparison to boys. At this point, you may be asking yourself, what can I do if I'm a woman living with ADHD? Or what can I do if my daughter or sister or wife is living with ADHD? In our masterclass led by licensed clinical psychologist Dr. Ellen Littman, covers topics such as the various symptoms, risks, challenges, and expectations of girls living with ADHD. Her response to the undiagnosed or misdiagnosed girls with ADHD is first calling on the family to find an experienced clinician. It is important to reach out and seek professional care to help your daughter with ADHD exceed at home, in school, and in her social relationships. Not only that, it is important for the family to consider things like family psychoeducation or parent counseling, and even environment restructuring to ensure that your family unit is doing what you can to best support your child with ADHD. There are also dozens of treatment options specially offered for your daughter with ADHD, such as pharmacotherapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, coaching, and online support groups. To learn more about other treatment options for your children with ADHD, be sure to watch our videos on living with and treating ADHD by clicking on the annotation in the top right corner of your screen. In this playlist, you'll find videos covering topics such as natural remedies and supplement alternatives for prescribed ADHD medications, and a bunch of other tips and tricks for caregivers of children with ADHD. Be sure to check those out and let us know in the comments below if there are any specific care or treatment options you'd like us to cover in our future videos. Continuing on, experts also say that a helpful tip for women living with ADHD is to simplify wherever possible. This means reducing unnecessary levels of stress and commitment, and ask your family or friends for help. Negotiate with the people closest to you, like your family or your partner, and ask them to take over tasks that add higher levels of stress and challenges. Another tip experts suggest is to hire a professional organizer, or work with an ADHD coach to develop good organizational and time management skills that can best assist you if you're living with ADHD. Psychotherapist Stephanie Starkis even suggests hiring an assistant who can visit for 6 to 8 hours a week to take care of light cleaning, go through papers, and help organize things around the house. Though it may be pricey, Starkis argues that people living with ADHD can't afford to not have help. If you know someone who is living with ADHD, it is important to do what you can to better understand ADHD and hold supportive and realistic expectations for your family member, friend, child, or student who may be living with ADHD. If you aren't already, we invite you to join our ADHD Membership Plus plan and gain access to dozens of masterclasses led by ADHD professionals covering various topics, including Dr. Ellen Littman's course on understanding ADHD in girls. This is just one more step towards better understanding and caring for your child with ADHD, and every moment counts. You can learn more and sign up for our ADHD Membership Plus plan at smartcourse.io/products. To make sure you're as prepared as you can be, I want you to hit the notification bell below and join our newsletter, because we'll be sharing much more resources on how to help your family cope better with ADHD, both at school and home. If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up and let us know what you liked or what you'd like to see more of in the comments below. The more people like, subscribe, click the bell, and comment, the more people will see this kind of content on YouTube, and we know some people could really use the help. We share tons of expert-vetted resources on parenting, education, and treatment for differently abled kids, just like kids with ADHD. So make sure to check out our previous videos and subscribe to our channel to receive notifications for videos to come. As always, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.